Harley race immediately after he regained the title from Dusty Rhodes.
Now, let me tell you something, Rhodes, as far as you having a broken arm. That's none of my doing. Maybe just one time you let your big, overbearing mouth overload your backside. And it happened. I'm not the least bit sorry that it did happen, other than the fact that it's pointed to me. You'll have your chance, Rhodes, anytime you want it. You come for me and you beat me like a man. I told you at that time it took a hell of a man to do it, and you did it. I'm telling you again that it's going to take everything that you got 100 times over to take it away from me again. I have become an absolute living legend. 3 times around world's heavyweight champion. I don't give a damn how you look at it. That's what it is.
And so the match has been set. It will take place this coming Wednesday night in Miami Beach at the Miami Beach Convention Center. Dusty Rhodes finally pinning down the world heavyweight champion Harley Race for that most important rematch. And right now I want to talk to Manny Fernandez because he's defending his Florida title against the Canadian freight train Joe LeDuc.
That's right. You know, Joe LeDuc, Canadian freight train, citizen of the world, whatever you call yourself, brother. I'll defend this title in Miami Beach against anybody because that's where my people are. All my Latins, all my people that saw me come up, that helped me, been behind me, and everything else. Toda mi gente latina, con todo mi corazón, con toda la sangre que tengo, este cinto es el cinto de la gente latina.
Just for one fall.
Destroyer going up against 2 men, and he has gone against him, that is for sure. Raul Mata hurtled out of the ring, and now the Super Destroyer after Chick Donovan. The Super Destroyer has him up. Wow, the pile driver. He has Chick Donovan out for the count of 3 on that one, and it's Raul Mata riding the back of the Super Destroyer now, pounding across the chest of the Destroyer. The Destroyer edges his man again. Donovan has been pinned, and now the Super Destroyer out trying to demolish Raul Mata. Brings him up. Another pile driver. Wow, and he did it. He did it. No question about that. The most impressive individual, the most impressive man, the Super Destroyer. And it is all over. The victor, the Super Destroyer. Heavyweight Championship, and that's the oldest and the largest sanctioning body of professional wrestling the world over. And it covers most of the United States, Canada, Mexico, Hawaii, Australia, Japan, Singapore, and it goes on and on and on. Race with a side headlock on Reggie Parks. Now, Race going after Parks is not going after a stranger to the ring ward. Race, high, caught on a backdrop. Parks. Race powers out, but he's suffering from that backdrop. Reggie Parks, front face lock now on Harley Race, the world heavyweight champion. One has to admire the champion for coming on television. He has everything to lose. Reggie Parks obviously has everything to gain. He can defeat the champion or hold him to a draw. It would catapult him into a #1 contention for that world title. On the break, it was Race catching him in the pit of the stomach. Reggie Parks. Back in the turnbuckle now. Race in the blue trunks. Parks in the black trunks. Reversal by Parks has Race caught in another backdrop after being whipped into the far turnbuckle. Race again powers him off. Race caught him, the headbutt to the midsection. Again, a snap mare that takes Harley Race to the canvas. Reggie Parks, rather, I'm sorry. Harley Race drives the knee in. Parks up against those turnbuckles. Race dominating the situation right now. Tried to bring Parks up, but Parks tripped him up to an inside cradle. And Race has to be frustrated over this now. And Race. Don't be fooled by Harley Race. This man, extremely clever in the ring, a master at human chess. Parks again with a side headlock on the world heavyweight champion. Race won the title first in 1973, lost it the same year, then regained it February of 1977 when he defeated Terry Funk in Toronto, Canada. He has held on to the title ever since. Began wrestling at the age of 17. After his first year of active competition, he was injured. Modified pile driver. No, sir. Parks powers out. Race was severely injured in an automobile accident. The doctors told him at that time he probably would never walk again, but that he was done as an athlete. And today you see him, the pinnacle of success, the world heavyweight wrestling champion. Race travels in excess of 250,000 miles a year defending his title throughout the United States, Australia, Canada, Japan, Mexico. You name it, he's been there. Race catching Parks, and it's Parks reversing the situation. Race went for a salto, and Parks reversed it on him. And we could very easily have an upset in the making here. Reggie Parks comes off the ropes, catches Race, a beautiful flying drop kick, and Reggie Parks is closing in on the champion. Race powers out again, but Reggie Parks, now with renewed vigor, moves against him again. Race caught in a backdrop. Parks been using that very effectively. Parks went up for a flying drop kick. Race stepped back. Out of the way. Parks came down. Head to jar. That spinal column. Race catches him a full body slam. Race moving up on that second rope. Parks stunned. Race dives headlong, catches him. The world, the Canadian freight train Joe LeDuc. And it is Rhodes smashing away again with that logging chain. Both men's face have turned to crimson. Dusty Rhodes hurtled into that far turnbuckle. And LeDuc, feeling victory is at hand, but he has been staggered badly during this match. LeDuc closes in on him once again. Arm whips him down, but Rhodes, grabbing that chain, brings him back, catches him in the forehead, knocks him out. It is all over for Joe LeDuc. Joe LeDuc stunned, dropped to the canvas. Dusty Rhodes victorious over the Canadian freight train Joe LeDuc. The referee now beginning to remove the cuffs from the arm, and there you see Sir Oliver Humperdinck comes in. It is bad. Leroy Brown with a Sunday punch, then catches Dusty Rhodes an elbow, hurdles the referee to one side. And now Sir Oliver Humperdinck grabbing that logging chain. Dusty Rhodes is dazed and staggered. Sir Oliver Humperdinck wraps that chain around the neck of Dusty Rhodes. And look at this devastating elbow at bad Leroy Brown, the bad man from Chicago. Bad Leroy Brown, one of the most devastating elbows, with the exception, obviously, of Dusty Rhodes' elbow. Using it again on Dusty Rhodes, and suddenly Sweet Brown Sugar, Manny Fernandez, and a host of others close into the ring. And this chapter is not forgotten. Dusty Rhodes seeking vengeance on bad Leroy Brown.
Of all you people here in the state of Florida that have been awaiting the return of the great, the legendary Dusty Rhodes, let me tell you one thing. There's nobody happier than I that he's back. That he's back laying out there right now, laying in the cold, hard, empty arena, still on his back. Ladies and gentlemen, I took my man Leroy Brown down there to introduce him to the legendary Dusty Rhodes, and met him, he did.
Hey, boss, let me tell you about it. Look at it, Daddy. That's the blood of Dusty Rhodes. I heard he was tough, bad. They even said he was badder than bad. Let me tell you something. All the people of Florida, If that's all that Dusty Rhodes got and that's all he could do, we're going to be easy picking, baby. You understand what I'm saying? I know all you orange pickers in the state of Florida understand what I'm talking about. Because I heard he was tough. And Dusty Rhodes, that was only the calling card, baby. From now on, anytime, anywhere, any place I can get my hands on you, I'm going to do the same thing. Do you understand? The same thing.
I want you to pick that big arm up there and show him this devastating elbow. An elbow that no one has ever seen the likes of before and probably nobody ever will again. Dusty Rhodes, you call it the bionic elbow. You say it's the best in wrestling today. Well, I'm here to say balderdash. No! This is the man with the elbow. This is the man that's going to put it on you, Dusty Rhodes, just like he did it tonight. Just like you're laying out there now, probably in a concussion. He's going to do it to you every time he can.
Well, all I can say, gentlemen, is that
It's all been said.
Ha, ha, ha. One picture is worth 1,000 words.
10,000
And
words.
you saw it all.
10,000.
Watch out! Watch out, Rhodes just hit the scene. Dusty Rhodes. And he's just demolished our entire set here. We've got to get some order restored. Dusty Rhodes has Sir Oliver Humperdinck. Wait a minute, here comes Bubba Douglas down, surrounded a host of others. We'll be back. We'll be back in just a moment. We've got to get. We'll be back. We'll be back in just a moment. We had things totally wiped out here. Dusty Rhodes absolutely hurdled the desk here in front of me and had both Sir Oliver Humperdinck and Bad Leroy Brown down on the canvas. I can assure you of this, that is a long way from being over. But we finally do have some order restored. We do have our next match coming up. As I said, seeing a parade of champions today. And so right now, let's go to the ring for our next match. This match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. At 231 pounds, from Oklahoma, former world heavyweight wrestling champion Jack Briscoe. His opponent, at 270 pounds, from Mongolia, Killer Khan. Jack Briscoe moving out against Killer Khan now, and you've got a disparity in weight here with Khan holding about a 40-pound weight advantage. Up into those ring ropes. Briscoe breaking away again. Briscoe now with the arm drag and twist. Briscoe clamping down now with the arm bar. All right, Jack Briscoe. Has Khan back on the canvas. Beautiful fireman carry by Jack Briscoe. Of course, one of Briscoe's real long suits, that always has been in professional wrestling, is his great endurance, his great stamina. Briscoe obviously seeking to regain that World Heavyweight Championship. Khan trying with an elbow, caught Briscoe in the back of the head. Glancing blow, Briscoe ducking away. Now Briscoe, rear chin lock with a takedown. From the hammerlock to the rear chin lock and takedown. All right, Briscoe maintaining pressure on Killer Khan. still marvel at what happened just a moment ago. Dusty Rhodes is a riled-up individual, no question about that. Kahn trying to go for a fireman carry if he could. Briscoe backing out, blocking it very well. Kahn brings him into the ropes. The referee calls for the break. Unleashing some heavy guns now on Jack Briscoe. Kahn catching him a thrust into the throat, and Briscoe in trouble. Back on the canvas once again. Kahn catches him in the back of the head. Briscoe again down on the canvas, and it's Kahn closing in on him. At this point in time, things not going well with Jack Briscoe at all. Killer Kahn, superbly conditioned athlete, an outstanding wrestler. He's set to close. Briscoe catches him in the midsection coming in. Kahn staggered. Briscoe catches him again. Briscoe again firing away at Killer Kahn. Now a forearm across the chest into a rear chin lock, and Briscoe applying tremendous pressure. Kahn into those ropes now. Into the turnbuckle now. Kahn having some problems. The respiratory system has been slowed up some. Kahn, notice the way he used his legs that time, and that inside cradle. Oh, good single leg dive. Briscoe now, the toe hold imprisoning the other foot, and so Kahn has his problems now. Briscoe, single leg variation of a single leg Boston Crab. Kahn twisting to his side, and that's the only way he's going to save himself. Was able to do it. Briscoe attacking that left leg, catching it again. Rips across the eyes of Jack Briscoe. Kahn moves in. Briscoe from Oklahoma State. Kahn comes off, crashes down, but it is Briscoe rolling out of the way. Briscoe rolls out of the way, and Kahn in trouble now, and Jack Briscoe going for the figure four. Jack Briscoe going for the figure four. Kahn trying to break it, but the pain becomes too much, and he is conceding. He tried to break it, but the pain was too much. We'll see that again. We'll take another look at this sensational athlete, Jack Briscoe, in a very tough match. Kahn, as you see, Briscoe rolling out of the way. Kahn with trouble with that knee. Jack Briscoe quickly seizes that opportunity. There you watch him, the smoothest applicator I've ever seen of that figure four leg lock. Clamps down, and it is all over, and Jack Briscoe gains another well-deserved victory. Race, the NWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Champion, defends his title against the challenge of Manny Fernandez at the Miami Beach Convention Center. The entire series of matches will go like this. Bubba Douglas will take on Raul Mata in the opening match. Bill Irwin faces Mike Miller. Then the Gestapo wrestles against Gordon Nelson. It will be Jack and Jerry Briscoe facing Brian St. John and Nature Boy Stanley Lane. Steve Kern goes up against the 300-pound Super Destroyer. And then in a very special challenge match, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and Sweet Brown Sugar take on Bugsy McGraw and Bad Leroy Brown. And finally, it will be the World Heavyweight Championship on the line, Harley Race defending that title against Manny Fernandez. This all takes place this coming Wednesday night in Miami Beach Convention Center. The number to call right now to make your reservations in advance, 532-4571. Well, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, Mr. McGraw, and Mr. Brown had some interesting comments regarding this coming Wednesday night.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, is back after a tour of who knows where. I was hoping he'd be gone for good, but he's back. And he's just shown you people he's still the great, uncouth, unwashed individual that I've always said he was. Dusty Rhodes, you're nothing. You're nothing of a man. You're a sneak attacker. You're a backstabber. But Wednesday night in Miami Beach, take a look at what you're going to have to be facing. On my right, Bad Leroy Brown from the south side of Chicago to give you a Chicago-style whipping Halstead Street. And on my left, Bugsy McGraw, the TV champion. Not a tougher dude ever has come down the pike. And he's got a few words to say to you, Dusty Rhodes and Sweet Brown Sugar.
Well, actually, words don't have a lot to do with action. A man could stand up here and, you know, he can wear a belt around his waist, a hat on his head, and say a lot of things. Or maybe he could bleach his hair blonde and be fat, and then say a lot more things. Well, Dusty Rhodes and Sweet Brown Sugar, you're going in there with the people's choice. I know you are, and you people in Miami, you sit there and waiting for a savior to come along and do the work that you cannot possibly do because you do not have the integrity, the intestinal fortitude, or the inclination or desire. Hey. Brown man and I are going to get the job done. We're prepared for you and going to do what we have to do no matter who likes you or when they like you.
Hey, let me tell you something. The Dream, as you call yourself. Hey, I had enough, brother. And whatever it takes, you can take that rule book you go by and throw it out the window. Because from now on out, brother, it's going to be anything goes. If I had to take you inside the ring, outside the ring, in the parking lot, wherever I run across you, I want you to know that we're going to get down. I don't care where it is or where it at. We're going to get down, brother.
You know, Brown Sugar, you've been cocky too, but it's all going to come to an end Wednesday night.
Sweet Brown Sugar and Dusty Rhodes have joined me. They've heard the comments by the trio.
Baldy and Abraham Lincoln and Fatso. Miami Beach is Dusty Rhodes and Sweet Brown Sugar's town. We done been from the mountaintop to the ghettos, beating opponents from King Curtis on down. And let me tell you something, Leroy, you slapped my face, but Wednesday night in Miami, I'm going to see how bad you really are.
There ain't no doubt about the situation that's going on here with Leroy Brown and Bugsy McGraw. You know, we went through an era. You understand? There's an era going on right now in this country. And I just came from a country where I stood in the middle of the ring and the Star Spangled Banner was played. You understand? And that was a thrill that went through my body like no other thrill. Because we're in America, and we don't take slack from nobody or no group of people trying to hold off some type of energy, you understand? Me, Sweet Brown Sugar, Bugsy McGraw, and Bad Leroy Brown. Nothing else needs to be said about that situation. They gonna be standing in the street because me and Sugar's man, Manny Fernandez, who had a long conversation with about the situation. World's title. The first Latin World's Heavyweight Champion, Manny Fernandez. And me and Sugar just gonna put a little icing on the cake.